Guess what? We're back on the bus. Well, at least for a little bit until we get back to the build, but hey, we're back on the bus. Everybody, like I just said, I am back on my school bus. So right now I'm taking a short little break from the build with Jax Austin. I just flew back this weekend to actually take this bus to a festival, which I'm super excited about. It is a wonderful thing to be back on my bus. It is super exciting. I love this thing, and it's kind of funny. I just drove it the other day. I literally just went on a ride just to drive, even though I am currently still yeah, let me show you that. I'm actually just parked in my parents' driveway right now, which is pretty much the same thing as like living in your parents' basement after college, except I'm living in the driveway, so that's kind of like, I don't know if that's worse, but meh. Like I said, I'm back on the bus, and I'm very excited to be here. I've decided that now that I'm back on the bus for a little bit, I wanted to start a small little series on this channel where I'm going to be doing small tours of my bus rather than one big long one. So if you're interested in seeing more of these tours, remember to subscribe to my channel so that you can get updates and notifications when they are released. Let's roll some clips of it, and then we'll talk about it. So that's a little breakdown of my living room section. So now we can actually look at the different segments and actually show how they work, how they flip, and how maybe you can include some of these designs or just thought processes into your own build in your tiny house, van, or school bus. So first up, we're gonna look at is going to be the couch, table, and bed setup and how they flip, fold, and go together. Now, when you look at my couches, they're just gonna look like normal couches. They're just gonna be something to sit on, and there's really not much interesting about them. But the fun thing is that they actually have storage inside if you were to pull and flip them up. And then they also have a flip out mechanism which allows them to turn into a bed and meet in the middle. Now, this is kind of a fun way to kind of play on your couch and not just have maybe a stagnant couch within your design, but also be able to transform into something different. I really wanted a spare bedroom in my bus and have available sleeping for when I have guests or family or friends over. And it's really important to have somewhere for them to be able to put their things and have somewhere to sleep. So that is why I designed storage within the compartments and also designed it to flip into one large bed for spare sleeping. Now, the fun thing about it is not only does it turn into bedding and it's a couch, I also designed a 6-foot dining room table, which is actually underneath the couch, which slides out, folds up, and then is a full 6-foot dining room table to have meals, play cards, or board games on with friends or family when they come over and visit. Now, you're probably thinking, hold up, you live on this bus by yourself, why do you need so much space for sleeping? And the answer is because I wanted to build it with space for other people. I wanted my bus to have entertaining space and have the ability to have people over. This bus was not built just for me per se. I built it with the idea of always having people with me or always traveling and having people be able to come over and enjoy this space. So it's a lot of fun to have designed that into the space and have it be able to do so many multifunctional things so that I can entertain and can have people over. Now, on top of these different designs of the couches, the tables, and the bed, this space also has different lighting. So throughout the entire bus, I have a AC lighting system and a 12-volt lighting system. And the reason why I did that was because I think lighting is very important and it adds a great aesthetic to the design and your bus. Being able to use, say, my AC lighting, which is on dimmer switches, and go through a very wide range of lighting options allows me to also play with the feel of the bus and play with the aesthetic of the bus, which for me was really important because I really enjoy that small, low amber kind of color, but I also sometimes just want brighter light where I can actually really get around see, which is kind of what it looks like right now. Also, there's 12-volt strip lighting going right above the windows, which can light up on a switch and kind of give that nice yellow LED look, which then reflects off of the ceiling. I really enjoy that as well because it really kind of lets the wood pop and do that. So if you're designing your space, I really highly suggest you think about lighting, because lighting really adds something to your design, and it can really add a lot of kind of feelings or moods that you can kind of play around with within your home. And now I know that 120 lights are not exactly the smartest or most efficient thing, but honestly I don't really care because I designed my system to be able to support the type of power, so it's not something that's sucking out power or causing me any issues with my power supply. Within this space, I also have a full stereo system, which I simply just used my old home theater system. I didn't go out and buy some new 12-volt system. I just used what I had. So I wired in this home theater system into this cabinet, which is wired into speakers throughout the bus. Now, this system can just play off of Bluetooth while I'm driving, so I can listen to music. It can also plug into a computer with HDMI and allow you to watch movies on the bus. So if I have guests over, we can watch a movie. Now, there's also AC plugs going throughout the space that are able to be used for charging or plugging things in. And I put quite a few in the space because I figured if I'm gonna have a lot of people sitting here for dinner or sitting here hanging out, I want to be able to have enough plugs for people to be able to plug their stuff in and work off my solar system and be able to charge up their devices or things. So there are plugs throughout the space that people can use, and I'm really happy that I did that. It's not that hard to add plugs, so I figured the more the merrier, why not? The worst comes to worst, it's just another junction box to wire in. It's not that expensive and not really that big of a deal. Now, I really hope that this tour of my living room space really kind of helped you think through maybe some of your own designs, or inspired you to kind of think outside the box and kind of expand what you're already thinking about doing in your bus, tiny home, or van. A lot of times when you're designing, you may be just thinking about how do I build a couch, or how do I do this, or how do I do that, and maybe you don't have the full set of skills to maybe design or build out something like this, but I didn't either when I started this bus, really. I knew how to use basic power tools, and I had basic understandings of kind of carpentry and things, but I never built a table before or built out a flip-out bed. I really didn't know much about tiny design or anything when I first started this. So start researching and figuring out how you might be able to design some of your ideas and push the boundaries of what you think you can do. It's a lot of fun to now go online and see all of these new buses and new tiny homes and new vans getting built that you are building, and to just be inspired by what you are doing and just kind of pushing the whole community to keep building cooler and cooler things and crazier designs, and it's a lot of fun to see what people are doing. So I hope that this tour kind of inspired you to think differently, or just inspired you to kind of push your own design that you've already done to kind of just make it that next little thing and kind of just push the edge of what we think we can do. So thanks for coming over and joining this tour of my living room. If you liked this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more tours of my bus, or just joining me on my little adventures, or wherever I end up going, remember to subscribe to this channel. Once again, I want to say thank you, and I'll see you next time.